Good evening. Welcome to Washington. I'm Brett Baer. President Trump is once again tweeting his support for controversial Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore. But there is apparently a limit to what the president will do. So the White House says the president is not expected to mention Moore during tonight's campaign-style rally in Pensacola, Florida. Just a political driver and a three-wood away from the Alabama border. Chief White House correspondent John Roberts starts us off tonight from the North Lawn. Good evening, John.
Brett, good evening. More like a cannon shot for me. I don't quite hit him as far as you do. But the president is spending the weekend in the South. He's got an event in Mississippi tomorrow, an event tonight in Pensacola, bracketing Alabama without ever setting foot in the state, rallying conservatives to get out and vote on Tuesday.
I, Kirsten Nielsen, do solemnly swear.
Swearing in Kirsten Nielsen as the new Homeland Security Secretary, President Trump today ran through some of the themes he'll articulate in Pensacola tonight.
We're going to get the wall, and we need it. We need it for the drug flow. We need it for people coming into our country. We want to have great people coming into our country. We want to have a merit-based system. We have to get rid of chain migration, all of these things we've been talking about.
The president will be speaking just 9 miles from the Alabama border in a market that reaches some of Alabama's most populous areas. But the White House dismisses the notion that tonight's campaign-style event has anything to do with Roy Moore.
No, it's a campaign event for Donald Trump. I mean, he's the president of the United States. He won Florida when many pundits said he couldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. He has a house in Florida. And the people of Pensacola helped put Donald Trump in office. This is a thank you to them.
The Moore campaign confirmed today he will not be attending the rally in a statement saying, quote, he will not be in Pensacola but is grateful to have the president rallying conservatives near Alabama. We are actively encouraging supporters to attend the rally and look forward to victory on the 12th. The White House continues to maintain that the allegations against Roy Moore are troubling, but that it's up to Alabama voters to make a decision about him. This afternoon, Moore's attorney called a press conference to respond to the revelation that his main accuser, Beverly Nielsen, embellished an entry she says Moore wrote in her high school yearbook.
The voters are going to have to decide, were they lying then, or are they lying now, or do the voters think they've been telling the truth all along?
A White House official tells Fox News there is nothing in the president's prepared remarks about Moore or his Democratic opponent, Doug Jones. But in campaign rallies, President Trump often goes off script. On Twitter today, the president was offering his full-throated support for Moore, tweeting, quote, last thing the Make America Great Again agenda needs is a liberal Democrat in the Senate where we have so little margin for victory already. Vote Roy Moore. The Republican National Committee has also gone all in for Moore. Last week, the RNC transferring $50,000 to Moore's campaign, and this week adding another $120,000 for phone banks, mailings, and other get-out-the-vote operations. The president's event comes on a day when the Labor Department reported 228,000 new jobs created in November, the unemployment rate dropping to 4.1%. President Trump also pointing out the unemployment rate in manufacturing dropped to 2.6%, the lowest ever recorded. Some staffing changes announced today at the White House. Dina Powell, the Deputy National Security Advisor for Strategy, will be leaving early next year to move back to her family in New York. In a statement, H.R. McMaster called Powell, quote, one of the most talented and effective leaders with whom I have ever served. And while the White House press pool was invited to watch the president and vice president swear in Kirsten Nielsen, the press was ushered out of the Roosevelt Room just as Nielsen was beginning her remarks, before having a chance to ask the president questions, including about his support for Roy Moore. On his departure from the White House late this afternoon, the president, who more frequently has been coming over to talk to the press at length, instead simply smiled and walked over to the helicopter. A few questions about Roy Moore and other issues were shouted his way, but the president just ignored them. If I were a betting man, Brett, I don't think the president will take a question on Roy Moore until Wednesday morning.
I think you're probably right. John Roberts live on the North Lawn. John, thanks. You can see that campaign-style rally here on Fox tonight.